everyone, and welcome to this Q&A session. I'm in a new setup. My parents are here, and we cleared out a bunch of stuff from the single spare bedroom so that I have an actual studio I can record in. I got a black background and the lighting and everything, and I'm also sitting on a bed, which is like super comfortable, but I am having some issues figuring out the setup. Like my table that I usually put all my stuff on is still being used by my parents, so the microphone's a little bit further away from me. I hope that's still okay. So today is the 1-year anniversary of my channel, and I am super excited about that. I can't believe it's been a year. I still feel pretty awkward doing these videos, and I've been doing them for a year, which is baffling to me. So yeah, I did a Q&A when I reached 1,000 subscribers, and I got 11 questions, which at the time I was super excited about. But today I got, I think it is, let me check, 79 comments on that video where I asked for questions, and I got a few questions on Twitter, and most people asked more than one question. Now, I only have about an hour to record this video, so I'm not going to get around to all questions, even though I really wanted to, but I'll try to answer as many as I can. I'm also drinking some water out of this cup. I don't know if I trust it. I poured some sparkling water in here, and it had like bubbles at the top, like soap, and I washed this cup like 2 weeks ago and I haven't used it since, so I've been kind of weird, but it doesn't taste like soap, so I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the Q&A. Alright, I'm just gonna put it, I'm reading them off my iPad. I just don't want to look to the side too much, so I'll just hold it here. The first question, and I actually get this question a lot on other videos too. The first question is, what is your job? I don't want to get into too much detail about my job because I do want to keep it separate from my YouTube channel, so I'll try to give you just the gist of it. Someone commented that I say basically too much. I'll try to watch that. I work for a very big software company, and I renew contracts. That's the gist of it. When a customer, I don't do sales. When a customer is already a customer and their contract is up, I renew them for another year, another 3 years, whatever their term is. I don't talk to them. They have like a clause in their contract that says we can just renew them unless they let us know they don't want to. And it's basically all system work. I just put it in the system and renew them. It sounds boring, and I'm sure it is to a lot of people, but I love it. I love system work. I love just like not having to talk to people on a daily basis. It's a pretty chill job. It's a busy job. I have a lot of work to do, and I do some side projects too, but for the most part, that's just what I do. So the next question is, what's your favorite Disney movie and why? My favorite Disney movie is The Little Mermaid. Why? I don't know. It always has been. Since I was little, I think Ariel is just my favorite princess, and Part of Your World is quite possibly my favorite Disney song, and I think it's just the whole package that makes it my favorite movie. Other than Orlando, where has been your favorite vacation? Without a doubt, Hawaii. I loved Hawaii. That was awesome. I'd love to go back there. And then, do you have any siblings? I have one older brother. What is one thing you would tell your younger self, and what is the best advice you've ever been given? I would definitely tell my younger self that life gets better. I was bullied a lot. In elementary school, I had always been the weirdo and kind of a different person to everyone else. And now as an adult, people love that. But as a teenager, that's not appreciated. So I think I would tell myself that as an adult, I will have a specific group of friends. And I actually have a lot of different types of friends. I have my geek friends. I have my Westlife friends. I have my football friends. But they will all appreciate you for who you are. And it does get better. The best advice I've ever been given. I honestly don't know. This may sound, because I never want to sound conceited or anything like that, but I seem to be that friend that people always come to for advice. Even though I'm not like the wisest person in the world, but I tend to give advice to people. I don't recall ever being given advice that I think, wow, that has really helped me. I mean, I'm sure I've received helpful advice in the past, but I just can't think of one particularly right now. In your travel experience, what are your favorite destinations to recommend to others? Any places or countries that are beautiful and tourist friendly, but not overly saturated with tourists and tourist traps, and that has amazing food? To be honest, I always go to very touristy places, so it's really hard for me to recommend places that are not overrun with tourists. So that's a little bit hard for me. I can definitely, in terms of beauty, recommend Hawaii. Hawaii was amazing. Prague is a really beautiful city, a lot of culture. I don't know, I love London, but it is very touristy, but I think it's a really beautiful city. Amazing food, again, Hawaii. Hawaii has a lot of Polynesian and Japanese influxes for food, and they're really, really great. And food, Belgium. Belgium's amazing. Belgium is, with food critics, rated higher than France and Italy. A lot of food critics know that Belgium's the place to be for food. It's got incredible food. What are your favorite kinds of ASMR videos to watch? Definitely whispered rambles and show and tells. Like, kind of the stuff I do is also the stuff I much prefer to watch. What county do you live in Ireland, and why did you choose it? What do you like and dislike about Ireland and Irish people or Irish food? And I think, judging by the name, that this was asked by an Irish person. I don't know if you can tell because it'll be in mirror image, but I'm a Galway girl. I live in County Galway. It's the best county in Ireland, let's be honest, okay? I know people that have lived in, like foreigners that have lived in different counties, and once they move to Galway, they all say Galway's the best. I've only ever lived in Galway. I didn't choose it. It chose me. I always say I applied for multiple jobs before I moved to Ireland, and I got my first job in Galway. Like, they were the first people to offer me a job, and I'm still with that company 14 years later, and I'm still in Galway. Like and dislike about Ireland. I mean, we all know that my main dislike about Ireland is the weather. I can get really, really angry at the weather. A perfect example a few days ago when I was yelling how much I hate this country, and I don't, by the way, but you know, grievances. My weather forecast said dry all day, sunny, bit of wind, so I thought, great, perfect time to hang out my laundry. Laundry had been hanging out for about an hour and a half, was almost dry, and it started pouring out of nowhere. And that has happened to me 10, 20 times. You think it's going to be dry all day, they say it will be, and then bam, laundry soaked. So I really hate that. And what I also dislike is that everything's very slow here. When I moved here, I had to register with like 5 or 6 different places. In Belgium, you do it centrally and everyone gets notified. And just getting anything done here. Like, you know, they always talk about Spain and the mañana culture. Ireland has a mañana culture. It's always, we'll do it tomorrow. And it just takes forever to get something done. But it's also part of Ireland's charm. People are very laid back here. It's a very calm life, which really suits me. The people are the nicest people in the world. I'm going to give a little anecdote. Oh my god, this video is going to be 4 hours long. There is a car park here that is like a day parking. You pay €5 to park all day, and it is generally, if you're going to be in town for more than 2 hours, it's the cheaper option. Almost every time that I drive in, someone drives out and hands me their ticket because they don't need it all day, and they're like, I paid, why should you have to pay? And I do the same thing when I drive out. You have to pay until 6:30 p.m. After 6:30 p.m. it's free. If I drive out anywhere around 3 or 4 and someone drives in, I'll give them my ticket. And it's one of those things that I think in a lot of countries, people, and I'm pretty sure in Belgium, people would be of the opinion, I paid, you have to pay. Not in Ireland. People are just like, well, I paid, but I'm not using it. You take it. I love that so much. I went to the grocery store with my mom a few days ago, and I wanted to get a cart, and it needs €2. And a lady came up and said, oh, here, take mine. And I said, oh, but here's €2. And she said, nah, just leave it. Like, she just gave me her cart with €2 in it. It's just the people here, they invite you in for a cup of tea and a scone when they've never met you. They don't, like in the countryside, they don't lock their doors. It's such a welcoming and loving country. Adore it. Irish food, I mean, you know, I do love pub food. I do in general. Pub food is nice, but most of it is deep fried and not healthy. I mean, it's not my favorite country for food. I'm going to be brutally honest. I think I'm spoiled coming from Belgium because we have great food. And of course, the scenery and nature and places to visit. The atmosphere, there's always street musicians and street performers, always. The pubs, some of them are super cozy and have a lot of live music every night. So the atmosphere in Ireland's just awesome. Next question is, would you particularly believe in manifestation as a means of attracting things you want to come into or be a part of your life? Yes and no. I read The Secret years ago. I don't necessarily believe that everything about it. I don't believe that if I really want something and I just keep focusing on it, that it's going to come into my life. But I do believe that positive attitude brings you positive things and a negative attitude brings you negative things. I have friends who just love complaining. I believe that they're happiest when they can complain. And to each their own, but I do think that if you constantly complain about every little thing, that you're going to attract more things to complain about. And if you're more of a positive person and focus on the good things in your life and try to just block out the bad things for as much as you can, but you know, like the little things, I think that you're going to have more positive things come into your life. I do firmly believe in that. I don't know if I completely believe in the law of attraction, but I do believe in attitudes. What are some of the things on your bucket list? Wow, a lot. What do I even think of? I'd love to visit the Great Wall in China. I went to China for work in 2008, but it wasn't in Beijing, and I didn't get a chance to stay a bit longer to visit Beijing. I did visit the Taj Mahal in India. I went to work there in 2011, and I got like a weekend off and did that. But I'd love to visit the Great Wall. Love to do Australia and New Zealand and do like Alice Springs and stuff. I'd love to go back to Hawaii and maybe do a cruise and do all the different islands. But I mean, everything is so expensive. They're all bucket list things. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do them. Niagara Falls. love true crime, I do. And I do love investigating things, and it seems like a cool job, but I don't think it's my type of job, to be honest. The next question is, this is from Dixie Whispers ASMR. She says this, she's from Tennessee, and she asks me where I would like to visit in the US that I've never visited. What is your family like, and what would be your dream job if you could do anything? Well, Tennessee is actually high on my list. The number one place that I want to visit in the US is Nashville. Number two, actually I have a couple of places, but number two would be Savannah. I don't know why. That's just a place that really speaks to me. I'd love to visit Savannah. And New Orleans. And I'd also love to visit Texas, like Houston, Austin, and Dallas, and the likes of Boston, Chicago, Salt Lake City. There's so many places, but Nashville, Savannah, and New Orleans are like the next ones that I really want to visit. What is your family like? That's an interesting question. I have kind of a big family. I mean, it's a family, you know. I have people that I never see. I have people that I see every time I go to Belgium. I have people that, you know, there's people that argue. There's people that are a little bit weird. For the most part, I have a fun family. I like them a lot. And what would my dream job be? There's two actually. My absolute dream job, to be honest, I'd love to be a professional musician. I do play guitar and piano in djembe, which is like the hand drums. I went to music academy for a long time, but I'm not a musician. I haven't played in years, and I don't really know how to anymore. And I can play technically. I can read music and play it, but I don't feel music. I can't play by ear. I think the best musicians are those who can just hear a tune and play it, and that's not me. But if I could, man, I think there must not be a better feeling in the world than making music. Particularly when I go see Josh Groban in concert, he always has a whole orchestra and a big band behind him, and it sounds so much more beautiful when literally every instrument from a song is played live. And I just get this thing of the feeling that they must have on stage making this beautiful music must be amazing. The other dream job that I would love to have is being a writer. Which plays in nicely with the next question. What's your favorite book? My favorite book is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I tried really hard to think of a different answer to this question because I think like Harry Potter is the obvious answer, but I genuinely have no book that comes close to how much I love this book. So, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what are your favorite places in Spain to travel to? The Spain question I can't really answer because I've only ever been to one place, and it's where my parents spend the winter. And honestly, it's a very small town. In the winter, you only have retired people there from other countries that spend the winter. It's a nice place to chill. There's not a lot to do. I'd love to visit Barcelona, Valencia, Madrid, but I've never been, so I can't recommend them. And where do you see yourself in 5 years? Honestly, I've kind of stopped planning that. I'm one of those people that just, I'll see where my life goes. I don't want to plan it anymore because a few years ago that answer would have been living in the US, but it's just not going that way. And sometimes I think about just giving up on it, settling down here. I'd love to buy a house, but I have to save up a couple of years for that. And then the US might be back on my mind. I don't know. I've kind of just stopped planning it. Okay, someone asked if I have any idea how far my videos go, as in what countries or how far in the world it reaches, and what are my favorite videos on my channel. I can actually see that my videos are viewed everywhere. I have can't see it specifically for every country, but I know that it's global. Favorite videos on my channel? I don't really know. I like the facts videos. I do. I love the Harry Potter one because I learned a lot from it, and the science facts one. But it's hard to pick because I don't watch them myself after I've edited them. So yeah, I can't really say. Okay, I'm gonna try to pick one question from all the people that asked multiple questions because otherwise I'm not gonna get around to everyone. What is the first thing you would do if you won the lottery? You know what? A lot of people always say quit my job, but I don't think I would. I really like my job. But I would definitely buy a house. I'd probably buy, I always said if I won the Euro Millions, which is like the huge lottery where you can win like 150 million, I would buy a house on each continent and just spend my year traveling in between them. I'd love to do that. Have you ever been up to the north of Ireland? If so, where, and did you like it? Yeah, I've been to Belfast a few times. Love it. Great city. Been to Derry, but that was more just, I have a friend who lives in Donegal, and I went to visit her, and Derry's like across the border just to do some shopping. Didn't really see it. Would love to do more Northern Ireland. I would love to do like the Giant's Causeway and the rope bridge and things like that. Another question is, do you have any family that live near you? If not, is it scary living in a country by your lonesome? No, I have no family that live near me. All my family lives in Belgium. No, it's not scary. I have a lot of friends here, and I know that there's always people I can call if I need them. I think I'd be more scared if I moved to the US because I don't really know that many people there, and that would be really far away. But here, I have a good base of people around me that I can always ask if I need something. What kind of shows are you watching right now, and what are your all-time favorite shows? I can't even. I watch so much TV. So much. I just got into a show called Tingles that my friend loves so much and has been trying to get me to watch for years. It is cancelled. It only has 2 seasons, but my god, what an amazing show. I'm so sad that that show is not continuing anymore. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out. Still like Grey's Anatomy, The Walking Dead, How to Get Away with Murder, NCIS Los Angeles, Supernatural. I mean, I just watched so many things. But at the moment, I started watching Chernobyl, but I have to continue with it. I think I'll do that when my parents are gone. And I'm rewatching Lost. At night before I go to sleep. My all-time favorite shows, Friends. I recently won a Friends trivia in a pub. Like pretty much by myself. I went with one friend, but she only knew about 5 questions. We got 76 out of a possible 78 points. Me. I did that. I love that show. I know that show far too well. I had a colleague of mine saw me walk into the pub and was like, "Oh, I'm going home if you're taking part in this." I'm known for being a Friends buff. Grey's Anatomy is one of my all-time favorite shows, but my absolutely all-time favorite show is Alias. Someone asked, why haven't you gotten married? Not meant to be offensive. No offense taken. I don't know. I would say I haven't met the right guy, but I'm honestly not looking either. I like being single. I think that's a hard concept for people to understand. A lot of people are miserable being single and don't understand that other people aren't. And there's still this thing of, you should really be in a relationship, but I love being single. And a lot of my friends are starting to publicly post on Facebook that they love being single and that it should just be acceptable. And I have no shame about it. I just love being single. When do boys, but the responsibilities of a team lead. And it's kind of building me up to, you know, get some management experience and maybe climb the ladder in the future. So I plan to do that for a few years here, and then see. I'll either decide to just stay and buy a house here or move on, but not anytime soon. What other boy bands did you get into besides Westlife? None. I used to hate boy bands. My entire high school class was so into Westlife when they first came out, and they were like, you need to listen to them, they're so good. And I was like, no, I don't like boy bands. And I don't know what it was about Westlife, but I eventually got really into them. But no one else. The only other boy band that I kind of like are NSYNC, and they're never coming back, so that's kind of sad. What was the first ever case that got you interested in true crime? I mean, the first case that I remember getting really into was the Ivan Milat case, who's a serial killer in Australia. I was kind of bored at work one day. I was in the office. This is like a decade ago. And I don't know, I think I read an article that mentioned him, and I went on to Wikipedia, and literally for the entire afternoon, I was just reading his story, and it was really creepy, and I kind of loved it. But I didn't know true crime yet then. I don't know if it was really a thing 10 years ago. I would say it definitely didn't exist on YouTube yet. I think the first case that got me really into true crime was the Amy Mihaljevic case. Lily Whispers did a video on that. I think it was like the third or fourth case she ever covered. And it was also a podcast that True Crime Garage covered. It's what got me to listen to True Crime Garage, and I have been listening to that podcast every week ever since. They recently, like 2 weeks ago, they did a new podcast about her with some new information, and it's a case that grips me like no other, and I can't explain why. It's got something to do with Amy herself, but I don't know that case. I keep following that case to see if there's any updates, and there sadly never are. But it's the first case I think that ever really gripped me and started me on my like true crime journey. What do you think about zodiac signs, and have you ever considered making an ASMR video talking about each zodiac sign? I really have. So I'm not necessarily hugely into horoscopes, but I'm a Scorpio, and if I look up the traits of a Scorpio, that is 100% who I am. So I do believe there's some merit to zodiac signs. I am thinking of doing a zodiac series. Actually, let me know if you guys would like to see that. Did you go to university? I did, but I didn't graduate. I dropped out. How do you decide which cases you cover in your true crime series? And has one of those cases you've covered been more difficult to research than another? I'm a huge fan of true crime, but there are a couple of cases that creep me out to no end, and still do. Yeah, there's definitely cases that creep me out too. I research most of my true crime cases at night in bed, and some of them have kept me up. I mean, I watch and listen to true crime a lot, and it's mostly the cases that I can't stop thinking about that I decide to cover. I'm sorry, my neighbors are coming home. The cases that, there are some cases that are suggested to me. It's mostly those that where there's very little information on it. For example, the case that I just did about Teo Haye is still ongoing, and there's not a lot of information out there, so that took a lot of different articles to open to try and find any that had a little bit more information than the other. And in the last few days, a bit more information has come out about it that wasn't there yet when I was researching it, so those are definitely a little bit harder. Have you ever been to New Zealand? And if not, where would you like to visit in New Zealand? I've never been. I would love to. I would love to visit the Hobbit village, even though I'm not a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, but it just looks so cute. Where I would like to visit, I don't know. I think honestly I'd probably want to do like an island tour and do a lot of different ones. A colleague of mine went to New Zealand on a honeymoon, and she had a lot of pictures where they were like in a canoe and just like paddling to little islands on the water. I'd need to ask her where that was because that looked really nice. Have you ever been to Sweden? And if not, what image do you have of Sweden without having visited it? I've never been to Sweden. Honestly, I have a friend who lives in Norway, and I've never been, but I see a lot of pictures, and I always imagine Sweden to look a little bit like that, like a lot of pine trees and a lot of lakes. I do know, because I have a colleague who went to Sweden for work, that it is very expensive, that a beer and just food in general is very expensive. But I imagine it to have a lot of nice nature. This is a question: what are some places in the US that you haven't visited but would like to? I answered that earlier. This question, I love it. What's your favorite pizza topping? If the answer is mushrooms, don't even acknowledge this part of the question. Mushrooms are just fancy dirt. I actually do love mushrooms. It's not my favorite pizza topping, but I'm sorry, I love mushrooms on everything. My favorite pizza topping, and this is probably even more controversial, is actually pineapple. Don't come for me. The other part of this question was actually, what has been your favorite city that you've traveled to? I mean, that's gotta be Orlando. I go to Orlando all the time. Although I do love Los Angeles a lot too. Just wanted to say I love your videos. Thank you. Is there a case that you really want to cover but haven't just yet? Yeah, actually I would like to cover the Amy Mahalovic case. I've just been going back and forth on it because I don't think there's anything new that I could bring that Lily didn't cover in her video, so I don't know. I was asked recently to cover the West Memphis 3, but then Lily brought out a video about that last week, so she beat me to it. There's a couple of cases, but I just, I go back and forth on them because, like, I've been asked to do the what is it called? The Gypsy Rose and Dee Dee Blanchard case, but it's been covered so many times. I don't know if it's worth me covering it, and that's usually where I question whether I want to cover a case or not, because it's usually one that's very well known, and I don't always want to do very well known ones. If you could pick anyone dead or alive to have dinner with, who would you pick and why? Wow, that's a harder question than I thought. I mean, I don't know. I would love to have dinner with my grandparents again. Just like once, but that just feels like such an obvious answer. I think, you know what? I think I'd like to have dinner with Barack Obama. I don't know. I thought he was great. He seems like a very interesting person. How old are you? Are you married? And what is your zodiac sign? I'm 36, not married, and I'm a Scorpio. How many pints of Guinness can you drink before falling over? I don't drink Guinness. I don't mind it, but the most I can drink is a glass because it's too much for me. But I am a very big lightweight. I can't drink more than 2 pints of any beer or I fall over. I actually get sick. So I get sick before I get wasted. So I can never get too drunk. Oh, sorry. If you could pick any unsolved case to know the answer to, which would it be? Personally, I would pick JonBenet Ramsey. For me, I think it would be, I mean, there's so many, but for me, I think it would be Kyron Horman. That I covered, I think he was the first case I covered on my channel. That he just sticks in my mind. I would just love to know what happened to that kid. these are questions that I've answered, so I'm just going to skip that. Have you ever been recognized in public? No, I don't think my channel's big enough for that yet. Can you talk about your favorite movie show? Why do you like it? I mean, my favorite show is Alias. Why do I like it? It's just awesome. It's a lot of like action, mystery, love Jennifer Garner. I don't know, it's just, you gotta watch it. Every time I give it to a new person to watch, they come back with, oh my god, that's my favorite show. It's so good. Favorite movie, Dirty Dancing. I mean, same with Alias, you'll never hear me say that it's the best movie ever made because it isn't, but it's my favorite movie. I don't know if I need to explain why Dirty Dancing is. I mean, you know, it's awesome. Top 5 favorite songs and top 5 favorite movies at the moment. Ooh, dear. 5 favorite songs. Hello, My Love by Westlife. You know, gotta talk about them. The 2 new Taylor Swift songs, Me and You Need to Calm Down. Love Taylor Swift, she's so awesome. I will be honest, I don't listen to the radio that much. I just kind of listen to whatever artists I really like, so I can't really think of any other ones right now that I really love. So I guess it's just gonna be top 3. Top 5 favorite movies at the moment. Dang, I haven't been to the cinema in a really long time. Actually, well, I went recently, but that was the first time in a real long time. I saw Aladdin, the live remake, and loved it. So that's gonna be my favorite movie of the moment. But top 5, I mean, I used to go to the cinema every week. And then when I got really bad anxiety, I couldn't go, and I haven't really been back a lot since, so hard question to answer. Yeah. What is your favorite part about being single and having no kids? The fact that I can do whatever I want. The fact that I can go on vacation for a month and it doesn't affect anyone. The fact that I can spend the entire day on my couch and it doesn't affect anyone. You know, just my life is mine. I don't have to share it with anyone else, if that makes sense. Have you ever come to Montreal or Canada? I haven't yet, but it's on my list. What made you want to move to Ireland? Well, I loved both London and Ireland. I'd been to Ireland on vacation a lot, and I wanted to move to either of those places, but when I moved here, Ireland had a lot of Dutch-speaking jobs open, which was my best way in, because not a lot of Dutch speakers move abroad. So I ended up just getting a job in Ireland as the first country, but I loved it so much because of the nature and because of the people. The people are really what make Ireland amazing. Which Harry Potter character do you relate to the most? I think I relate most to Hermione. What is your favorite ASMR video to create, and which do you like to watch, listen to? Yeah, like just the ramble videos. I love doing those. I'm a very good rambler in life. And I do love making true crime videos. This is from Mom Life. She's been a subscriber for a long time. She asked if I could do more like that of the Harry Potter unboxing videos. Maybe. I'll see if they have a good box coming up soon. Okay, how do you feel about lo-fi vids, and would you ever consider doing some yourself? I love lo-fi vids. I do. This video where I asked for questions I did with my iPhone mic, and I actually kind of love that type of sound. However, I overpronounce my P's and my B's and my T's, and that's why I need this microphone cover, because I make a lot of pop sounds in my microphones, and I noticed that on this very short video that I did, that the microphone popped a lot. So I would love to do more lo-fi post a conspiracy theory or a creepy, scary type of video. Yeah, I'd love to do some conspiracy theories. I will say, this might be a little too morbid, and I don't even know how it would work to just talk about it, but I love air crash investigation documentaries. I don't know why, because I fly a lot, but I think it puts me at ease to fly when I watch those, because you kind of know what has to go wrong before something happens. And I've been thinking about making one of those videos, but I think a lot of people would think that's too scary. Let me know what you think about it. But conspiracy theories, definitely something that I'll look into. Which ASMR artist inspires you the most? I think the two that inspire me the most, because they make very similar content to mine, are Peace and Serenity. I mean, you all know I love her. And Soft ASMR. She does a lot of ramble videos and show and tell videos, and she has a really great whisper, and I think, and Lily whispers as well, obviously. They're the kind of ones that make the content that I like to make. What is one of your favorite memories to think back on? I know, kind of a weird question, but I'm always intrigued to learn this kind of insight into a person's mind. I get you. I think that's a great way to know what a person's like. Favorite memories. I think the one that comes to mind is swimming with a dolphin. I did that in 2014 in Florida, and that was amazing. I'll see if I can insert a picture of it here. What are the proudest moments you've had about yourself in your life? I think definitely moving to Ireland by myself. I thought that was a really big feat, because I was only 22 when I did it, so I'm still very proud of that. And just getting the job that I have now. I mean, that took a lot of hard work. There was a lot of... I made a big leap of faith with that job, and it worked out for the best. I'm really proud of that, too. Who is your celebrity crush? Josh Groban. Seriously, I want to marry that guy. Not really, but he, his sense of humor and just the way he is, he would be like my dream man. How is the Open Uni course going? It's not. Oh man, I gave up on it. I couldn't figure out their online system. It was really complicated, and nobody was helping me. And let me tell you something. I work in IT, okay? I love gadgets. I'm a very tech-savvy person. And the best part about this is that their online system was my company's software. The moment I logged onto it, I recognized the UI, and I could see it in the URL that it was my company's software. I use it every day. I know how it works. And yet I could not figure it out for their university, because it was, oh my god, it was put together so complicated. I don't know what they thought they were doing. But I am hoping to do a master's degree here in Galway at the university. I'm better in class anyway. I'm not good at learning myself. I need to be present and be motivated to do it. In Ireland, you can skip a bachelor based on work experience, and for the masters I want to do, I would have enough work experience, but I need to wait to get accepted into it, and I hope I do. What true crime case do you find to be the most interesting? I think the Fort Worth trio is one that interests me the most, because I find a lot of things that happened in that case very bizarre and very hard to explain. Supermax or McDonald's? Supermax is an Irish fast food chain. To be honest, McDonald's. I know I'm gonna get it, but I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of that kind of fast food chain anyway, but I'm not a big fan of Supermax. I had 2 bad experiences with it, and since then I don't go back. Plus, I'm a weirdo, but I always get the fish burger, which nobody gets, but I do. So I always get the fish burger at McDonald's. Favorite food to cook and favorite food to order out. I love ASMR video to watch? That was asked by Cheryl M. ASMR. She's lovely. You need to go check her out. Again, you know, I mean, to describe it in detail would be very hard, but I just love it when people just whisper. I used to really love soft-spoken videos. I kind of hated whisper videos, and I thought that I would do a lot of soft-spoken because I've always been told that I have a relaxing voice. But then people loved my whisper so much that I'm just like doing whisper videos, and now I also really love listening to them. And anything visual. Visual triggers are my favorite. I love camera brushing. So I guess a soft whisper with camera brushing. Would love that. What was your favorite TV show as a kid? I mean, as a teenager, it was definitely Friends. As a kid, I think as a kid it was like this Belgian soap opera, which is actually still on TV. Yeah, a Belgian soap opera. It's pretty bad, but as a teenager, it would have been Friends. What's your favorite ASMR artist? There's a few. Okay, so we all know that I love Peace and Serenity. I love Lily Whispers. I just want to say that Lily is a really sweet person. When I first started my channel, I emailed her a few times because I had a lot of questions about things. And before I started it, I emailed another ASMR artist, a very small one, like maybe 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, who just ignored me. And there's always that thing of when you email someone, like Lily, she had over 200,000 subscribers at that time. I was like, oh my god, what if she ignores me? I'm gonna feel so stupid. And it was like a risk that I took because I figured she gets a lot of emails. Let me tell you, she always replied immediately, like by the next day, and always sent me really long emails. And I mean, I don't think she watches my channel, but I just want to put it out there that she is super nice. I love soft ASMR. I love Grace V. My god, I love her inaudible whispering, and she's so good at it. I'm really jealous because I would love to do it, and I've practiced it so many times, and I just can't get any sounds to come out of my mouth when I do inaudible whispering. I don't know how she does it, but she's so good at it. Love Ocean's ASMR, but my absolute favorite ASMR artist, and I've said this before, is Cosmic Tingles. She was one of the first ones I ever watched, and she's uploading again, which makes me really happy. Favorite trigger, visuals, that would be like camera brushing, or very soft whispers. Birthday, November 19th. What kind of video games do you like, and what are you playing now? I mean, we all know that I love The Legend of Zelda. It's, you know, it's my channel name. I'm not a huge gamer. I've bought every Nintendo console ever, except for the Wii U, because I love Zelda and I want to play it all the time. I'm currently playing Animal Crossing New Leaf. Like, people are just obsessed with that game. People are really waiting for a new game to come out on the Switch, and I never heard of it, so I bought it. It's nice. I'm not obsessed with it yet, but I only recently started playing it, but it's just a very simple game, a bit like The Sims, I feel. Just kind of build things. Playing Super Mario Odyssey, and I'm currently actually playing Zelda the Wind Waker. I borrowed my colleague's Wii U and bought a used version of Wind Waker. It's a very old game. It's from 2002, and it was originally released on the GameCube. Now, I still have a GameCube, but I never got Wind Waker, and if I were to buy it on Amazon now, it's like 160 or 170 pounds. Like, it's like a collector's thing. So I got it on the Wii U. It was remade in HD for that. Love it. Like, a lot of... It never interested me because it looks a bit like a cartoon, but a lot of people on YouTube who do like my favorite Zelda games, Wind Waker is almost always one of their favorites. so I really wanted to play it, and I do like it a lot. So yeah, I'm playing that right now. And if they don't re-release those games for the Switch, then I'm gonna buy a Wii U at some point and also get Twilight Princess in HD and Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is my favorite Zelda game. It was only released on the Wii. You can play it on the Wii U, but I'm really hoping to get an HD remake for the Switch, but I don't know if they're going to do that. God, I really need to get moving. I'm gonna skip some of these that I've answered. Have you seen the new live-action Aladdin? Yes, awesome movie. Who's your favorite YouTuber? ASMR or not ASMR? I mean, non-ASMR, my favorite YouTuber is the Dim Tracker. He does vlogs from Orlando, and it keeps my homesickness of Orlando at bay. And they're just him and Jen, his wife, are a really great couple, and I just love watching them. Okay. Do you prefer sweet or salty food, and what's your absolute favorite food? I actually like both equally. I have a real sweet tooth, but I also love savory food. Favorite food of all time? I mean, they're called bitterballen. They're actually like a Dutch-Belgian thing. They're little fried meatballs, but like with oh God, what do you call that in English? Batter around them. They're really nice. I think my favorite food in general is spaghetti bolognese. I could eat that every day. Okay. Who would you most want to collab with in the ASMR community? I'd love to do a collaboration probably with Soft ASMR or with Lily Whispers or with Grace V, but I don't know how that would work because I can't do inaudible whispering, and that's what she mostly does. But there's a few people that I'd love to do a collab with, but not that I've reached out to or anything, just like off the top of my head. Where did you live before Ireland? Belgium, where I'm from. I just moved here straight from Belgium. Okay, that's the end of. I'm sorry if I didn't get around to your question. It's just some word duplicates, and I really have to kind of get a move on. I was asked a few questions on Twitter. I just want to cover those as well. Do you know who Zelda Fitzgerald is? And if so, what are your thoughts on her? I actually don't. I've never heard of that person. I know Zelda Williams. She's Robin Williams' daughter. No idea. I wish I'd looked that up to see who she is, but I don't know who she is. I'm sorry. It would be a real crime if no one had a Legend of Zelda question. Very true. Have you experienced any tingles from the music in any of the games? No, I can't say that I've experienced tingles from it, but I do love the music. Like at the moment, as I said, I'm playing Wind Waker, and there's this moment where you play your little baton, and Medley plays her harp, and the harp music is just amazing. But in general, Breath of the Wild in particular has a few songs that I think are absolutely beautiful. I think that's it, because some of these are definitely duplicates, like favorite types of videos. So I think that's it. I really wanted to get to everyone's question, but my parents are visiting. I need to go have dinner. I think they're waiting for me, and I really wanted to get this out today because today is the 1-year anniversary of my channel. So thank you all so much for being here, for being subscribed to me. I know some of you have been with me for the entire year, which is just awesome.